Welcome to Conversations with Masesi, where my guest and I talk about everything life, family, love, community, and everything in between. By fostering open communication, sharing resources, and collaborating on a summer learning plan, parents, children, and teachers can work together to create a supportive environment that minimizes summer learning loss and maximizes the educational benefit of the break. Joining me today, I have Coach Sylvie as we continue on our topic of summer learning loss. Welcome, Coach Sylvie.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, some of our viewers may not be aware who you are and what you do, and please introduce yourself.
Of course. So my name is Sylvie Legacy. I'm a parent and family coach, and I also have my French reading and writing program that I provide to students that have learning difficulties or just need that extra push to bring them to grade level.
Yes.
And my program is specialized for every student that I meet.
That is awesome. You know, as we talk about summer learning loss, there are people that needs to be involved and need to play a different role. So please talk to us about the role of the teachers, the role of the parent, the role of the caregiver, and the role of the student themselves.
Of course. So the communication with the teachers is crucial for multiple reasons. It shows the student that the parents are engaged in their learning, and that has a big impact on the students when they see that their parents are very engaged. And having that constant communication with the teachers, the parents know what's going on with the learning side of their kid, the behavior, if there's anything alarming, if there's anything they can do extra at home to help their kids.
Yes.
And also when it comes to a student that is that might have some learning loss during the summer, it's important as a parent to go see the teachers with a mindset of how can I help my kid? How can we work together to help my child succeed? And when it comes to this, you can easily ask the teachers, do you have any ideas of what kind of books I could use to help my kid? Programs that are on the electronics now, you have all different kinds.
That's so true.
And just to have that inspiration, because sometimes that's what's lacking when it comes to how do we help our kid.
It does.
And what can I do? So having that extra help from the teacher, usually the teachers are very open to help the parents to guide them.
That parent-teacher interview, we always don't want to go to it because we're thinking the teacher is going to tell on my child. So when I'm listening to you, I'm hearing you saying we need to work together as parents and as teachers for the good of the child.
Yes.
Right? So those are the people that play a role in making sure that there's continuous learning and growth for the child that can translate into work being done over the summer. But you know, to prevent summer loss, there must be collaboration effort from the teachers, parents, and the children and the caregivers, right?
Exactly.
And I'm happy that you mentioned that you also do some tutoring.
I do.
So what kind of tutoring do you do to help with this kind of summer loss?
So I do two different kinds of tutoring. So I do tutoring where the student is just needing an extra push, and I also have a program where I do re-education for writing and for reading. So when a family calls me, I assess the child to see exactly what skills they're lacking. So it might be the phonic awareness, the phonics, the fluency, because when it comes to reading, there is 5 pillars.
Yes.
You also have the comprehension, you have the vocabulary. So when a student comes to me, I work all of those aspects. And when their reading is at a comfortable level, then we enter the writing parts. And when I teach, I make sure that I get to know my students. So I always work on that connection.
Okay.
The connection with my students is the key to everything, because then they feel comfortable, they trust me. And also I get to learn how do they learn, right? Some students will learn they need manipulatives. I use all of their senses, hearing, touch, see, smell, taste, and so when I think of a student in particular, he started in end of March, and that student was at the beginning of grade 1, and he's going in grade 3.
Oh, wow.
So at beginning of grade 1, his comprehension was very, very low. In 3 months, I was able to bring him at beginning of grade 2. So he did like a huge grade.
Close the gap.
A huge, one gap of a year. So that is huge.
You know, you mentioned about testing before you start with the learning process.
Yes.
What kind of testing and how long does the testing last? Is it a one-day thing, you sit and you get tested, or is it continuous testing so you know what are the gaps?
That's a great question. So the testing will last around an hour.
Okay.
And I test the phonic awareness. Where is that child at? The phonics, the fluency, the comprehension, the vocabulary. And then I test every 6 weeks to see the progress and to see what I need to adjust. Am I teaching the right thing? And as we go, I notice if, we need to take a step back, or now we need to go a little bit farther.
Yeah.
But it's always to go exactly where that student is.
That is so amazing. But you know, we have students that have test anxieties. Do you use the same test for everybody, or is the test according to the child's learning way?
I use all the same tests, and I try to make it as fun as possible.
Okay.
And we take a lot of breaks. Between the testing, we'll play maybe a little game or say a little joke. So for me, having that atmosphere of calm and being comfortable is very, very important.
Yes.
And I always tell the parents, you can discuss with your child if you want to stay with your child for that first testing.
Okay.
Or if your child feels comfortable for you to leave, you can also leave. It's really up to them for the first testing. But after the second testing, usually the students are very comfortable with me and they're fine of staying with me.
You know, I'm sitting here thinking, as a parent, sometimes we do not want to know what is going wrong. So how do you communicate, dear parent, this child is at a grade this level and we need to bring them up?
So my first conversation with the parents, I always tell them that I do not sugarcoat. Okay. My goal is to help your child. That's true. I will always be honest with you. And it has nothing to do with you. It's not, I just want you to really know what is the real picture.
Yes.
Because I don't like when people sugarcoat things. Yeah. I like to know how things are, but it's also in the way you deliver the information, right? Yeah. You need to be gentle and be aware that maybe the parents might have a big shock.
That is so true, because and sometimes as parents we blame ourselves when things don't go the way they're supposed to. I don't know according to who, but that's how it is, right? Yeah. And your relationship with parents, has it ever affected the child? Because sometimes the parent, you know, the helicopter parent, want their hand in everything. How do you deal with that kind of a parent?
So I always take time to explain the reason why. So parents are not allowed usually to stay for a session.
Okay.
Okay. And if some parents really want to stay, I explain the why behind of not staying during the session.
Yes.
Because oftentimes the child will be constantly looking at their parent to have that approval. Am I doing it right?
They do.
Or waiting for their parent to read for them.
Yeah.
And I'm working independence.
Yes.
And also, students often look for validation,
they do.
the exterior validation, and that's okay. But when a student is with me, I seek that internal validation. So I explain all of that, but the parents are always welcome to stay close.
Yes.
But not
in the same room.
Yeah.
How can people get hold of you?
So you can get hold of me either by email, sylvieliteracy@gmail.com, or my phone number 306-717-5212. And I think I mentioned my program is French-based.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And on social media as well?
Yes, on Instagram
Yeah.
at Sylvie Literacy.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming through for us today and just broadening our horizon on what is summer loss, because we've heard about it and we needed to find out more. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. In summary, remedying summer learning loss is a joint responsibility that contributes to the overall well-being and academic success of students. By working together, parents and teachers can create a supportive and enriching learning environment that extends through the entire year. That's a wrap for today. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on all our social media platforms to keep the conversations going. Thank you for joining us on Conversations. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you and yours. Shalom.